Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up and execute a peer-to-peer texting campaign start to finish. So here you can see I'm logged into the MudShare dashboard, and the first thing I'm going to do is go into contacts and database imports. So if I've got a spreadsheet of donors or supporters that I want to reach out to, I will import that into the system. So here I will choose my file, upload my MudShare demo here, and so now the system will read all of the headers out of the file, and I have to map each of these to the system here. So email address, name first, name last. Now you don't necessarily have to do this. If you're just sending out a text message, all you really need to do is map the phone number. But if you want to do any sort of merging, customizing messages based on other contents of the file, this is how you would map those. So now I'll create import. I will say yes. And since this file only has 2 records, it didn't take very long, but you can imagine if you're mapping 100,000 records or something, it'll take a bit longer, and then it'll actually run in the background and send you an email when that process completes. So now you can see in our contact history that these 2 people were imported correctly. So now the next thing I want to do is make sure that I've got carrier codes set up. That's just another term for the phone numbers that we'll be sending out from. So we find that under Settings, Carrier Codes. You can see that I've got a handful of different codes enabled here. I can go through and disable as needed. If I want to send from a different area code, for instance, I would come down here to Buy Carrier Code. You don't actually get charged for codes here. That's just the terminology we use in the system. But let's say I want to get some 913 area codes, and I want to get 3 of them. Comma separated by carrier code. And you can see process complete. And now I've got 3 new carrier codes in the 913, and I can enable those, or I can bulk enable. So this is how you determine what phone numbers are going to be used to send those messages out. So this is the number that would show up on the text message on the recipient's phone. So we've got carrier codes all set up for this. Now we want to go ahead and create our message. So for a peer-to-peer campaign, we go to Marketing, Survey Campaigns, and we come down here to Create Survey Campaign. Now you can see, we'll call this KC Airport, and we're doing a live message blast. I'm going to send this out to the group that I just imported. You can also create tags and select contacts in all sorts of different ways. I'll show that in more detail in a different video, but for now we'll just do the MudShare demo that I set up. For keyword, really just need to auto-generate, and description, if you want to put more detail about this specific campaign, you can do that here. Now we're going to go ahead and create survey. For the most part, when you're doing a peer-to-peer campaign, you don't really need to change any of the options here. I will, in a separate video, talk about how you can schedule messages, but we're not going to do that on this one. So we'll just go to the message. So if you're sending an SMS message, which is the default, you have 160 characters to work with. Now we do automatically put in opt-out language so that your message is fully compliant. That is about 20 characters, so you really have about 140 characters to work with. If you go above that, it automatically breaks it into 2 messages, and then you have twice as many characters to work with. If you are sending an MMS message, so anytime you've got an image or an animated GIF or a video, as soon as you select that type of file, it will switch over to MMS and you'll have more characters to work with as well. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab an image. So we're going to say Meet Bruno is the image here. You can upload an image from your file, from your computer, or select from images that you've already uploaded to your account. Go ahead and import that. Here's Bruno. And now I'm going to copy the message that I've already written. Say, come meet Bruno. And so that's the message that we're going to send. You can see that we've used 143 out of the 320 characters here. Now you always want to send a test message. So send it to yourself, send it to anybody else who needs to be in the loop on the campaign to make sure that it is formatting correctly, that the image comes through correctly and all that. So this is how you do that. All you have to do is specify the number you want to send to, send that text message, look at it on a couple different devices. It's a good idea to see how it looks on an iPhone and an Android phone just to make sure that it's coming through properly, especially if you're talking about sending a video or an animated GIF or something like that, just to make sure that it looks the way you expect it to. So other thing to keep in mind is when you are using any sort of multimedia, the file size limit is 600 KB. So especially when you're talking about sending a video, that's a very small file size. So you need to do a lot of compression to make sure that it's going to go through okay. Otherwise, it will very likely be sent out without the attachment. So now we save the message text, and we'll close this out. So now you can see that this is all set. One other thing that I will show you is we can also come in and we can insert dynamic content based on some specific fields here. So we'll say, hi. Now, if you've ever done mail merges and that sort of thing in Microsoft Office tools, this is basically that sort of thing. So now it will send hi, and then it will automatically put in the person's first name if they have that in the file. Okay, so now we'll save that message text. Okay, now last step, we activate the survey. You sure you want to send to 2 recipients? Yes. So now this survey campaign is active, and to start sending out the messages, if you are sending them out yourself, you come into the phone here. Now we're on the MudShare phone, and you can see our active surveys here. Here's our airport survey. So I click Start, and you can see it's pulling the person's name in. All you have to do is tap the Enter key to send each text, and it goes that quickly. You can see survey campaign has been completed. So now, so that's how you would execute yourself. MudShare does also have a fully staffed call center. So if you'd like us to execute a campaign for you, once you've got the campaign set up and activated, you can send us an email at admin@mudshare.com. Just make sure that you provide the details, tell us what account that we're logging into, what time you want the message to be delivered, including the time zone, and the name of the campaign, And it's also helpful if you give us an idea of how many messages are in the campaigns we need. We know how many agents to put on the project. And if there's a specific area code that you want it to go out from, that's helpful to know as well. So the last thing you can do then is go into your survey campaigns, and you can take a look at the results. So I'll click Result. You can see that both of the messages have been sent and opened. If you're sending a larger batch of messages, you'll see unsubscribes, you'll see bounced or failed to deliver, all the different dispositions of those messages. And then you can also filter by themes. If you've got a group of people sending messages out, you can filter and add or remove specific dispositions on messages. And you can also see the total number of message segments and the cost of those messages being sent. So that is, start to finish, how you execute your own peer-to-peer campaign. For more tips on how to connect with your audience, head over to MudShare.com.